Yes,
Okay.
it makes so much sense. This actually opened my eyes to a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'll try to not be selfish, but I'm being selfish right now.
Yeah.
Yes, it's wow, right things over good things, because
Yes.
most time when we hear distraction, there's a structuring of our minds already. We know where to look. Okay, these are distractions are all
Distractions.
bad things.
Don't chase women.
Yeah, just-
don't
yes,
smoke.
don't
Don't
do
do
that.
this. No,
Yes,
there are
yes.
many good things that can form distractions.
Some distractions.
That's so the two things here is that good things
Wow.
can distract you.
Wow.
Number two is that in distraction you are still focused. So you may be focused on a good thing, but you're on the wrong path.
Wow.
So distraction is a type of focus.
It's a type of focus. Hello guys, I'll try to be as simple as possible and not to be very excited, because I feel like screaming right now. I am the host. To be my host is architect Apeh Harrison, and I'm super excited.
I'm super excited too.
I feel honored.
Yeah.
I'm a young man who is feeling honored right now. Just being with
I'm
you.
a young man who's also honored. It's good to have you, Steve. Thank you so much for coming.
It's really, I trust that not just me, but everyone that will watch a part of this episode,
we'll learn something.
Yeah, we'll learn something.
I hope so too.
Yeah, so
I hope so too.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am with architect Apeh Harrison. He's the man behind Letoha. Have you tried their beans? You should try their beans. I love their beans.
Yeah,
I love
beans and bread.
Yeah, beans and bread, but the beans.
Beans is solid. I agree.
Letoha is
I vote yes. I vote yes. I vote yes.
Yeah, and he's the man behind Batoha Hotels. Okay, so I have a couple of questions for you.
Sure.
And I'll try not to be selfish, but because this question they relate directly to me. Yeah, because as a young growing man in Makurdi, in Nigeria, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
You know, so
True.
you know, but this is not just limited to Nigerians. You know, once in Nigeria, we feel like it's just here. So, as a young growing man in Nigeria, I feel like every young boy, every young girl wants to make moves in life. They want to get to a point where they can achieve something, where they can see that I have done my part. And growing up, one of the things they keep warning us, the older people keep warning us, is to beware of distractions.
Yeah.
Distractions, and there are lots in this generation. There are
Lots
of distractions.
I agree.
Yeah, social media, your home, your environment, and all. But one of the things I've come to realize is that a lot of young people don't know how to identify their distraction. So here's the question. The question is, growing up, you know, you trying to aspire, you trying to get to where you are, right? There were lots of distractions on your part. So I want you to help us through your journey. Just teach us how to identify. We have been hearing beware of distraction, and we have heard that a lot, and we actually want to beware of distraction. But most of the time, we don't know how to identify these distractions, because I think that distractions can be people specific. You know, they are different for different folk, different shit for different folk. So growing up, how were you able to identify those distractions? You overcame those distractions and you were focused in life. How were you able to do that?
Okay, thank you, Steve. So I will say first of all that I still battle with distractions. So I reckon that you're making reference to my younger years.
Yes.
But even as, you know, an older young person, life isn't void of distractions. I think that even the older you get, the more prospect for distraction. And I'll explain why.
Okay.
Because as you get older, you become more independent. When you were younger, your parents were able to stream you on the path, and in that streaming to a path, they were able to cut off many distractions by default. Like you can't watch movies after 10 p.m. Because you live with me as your father. I'm telling you, if you must be in my house, no movies after 10 p.m. You see, so many things that our parents give to us as guiding laws and regulations for living in their houses help to eliminate many distractions. As you grow older and begin to pay your own rent and pay your own bills and fend for yourself, you become more independent, and then you become more empowered to embrace options.
Okay.
So the options were limited as you were younger because you were dependent on your folks or your guardian. As you get older, you become independent. That independence comes with distraction. There's a time that a girl couldn't visit you after 6 p.m.
Yes.
Now, as an adult, you can have 20 girls in the house by midnight. So as you grow older, you are afforded the luxury of distractions. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah,
so it becomes even more critical for older adults because as you get older, you have a lot of opportunities to be swayed by distractions. And I still deal with those challenges every single day, like every single Nigerian or every single person. Now, the real deal is how do we identify what real distractions are? And I'm very happy you brought that distinction or detail into your question. How do you identify what real distractions are? In one of the recent episodes we did, somebody asked a similar question to say, what do you see as a primary item to respect young people in a way that you give them access to yourself? And I said character and focus. And I had to explain to him what real focus is. And I will try and do the same thing here very quickly, since I've done that before in an episode. So this is my belief. My belief, Steve, is that distraction is a kind of focus.
Okay.
And I'll explain why. Every time I say it, people get like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
What in your very quick thinking, what do you think is focus? Let's discuss that very quickly. What in the very basic way, what do you think is focus?
Eyes fixed on something and you're going to get it.
So once your eyes are fixed on something, my eyes are fixed on you or on this light, I am focused on the light. Am I correct?
Yeah.
So once there's a center of attraction, a center of attention, once a focal point to your gaze, that is focus. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So when a child has an exam, for example, and he needs to read 5 hours a day in preparation to that exam, and he does that every day, he reads 5 hours, what do we say?
He's focused.
He's focused. And we are saying that in reference to the fact that he's focused in doing the needful, which is to read to pass the exam.
Yeah.
What happens if that child spends 4 hours watching movies every day and does 1 hour of reading every day?
He's focused on the movie and he's not focused on his goal. Yeah.
I like you because you didn't say he's distracted by the movie. You said something very powerful. You said he's focused on the movie.
Yes.
Now, in that state, how do you describe that young man? Is he a focused young man or a distracted young man? He needs to wait for exam.
Yes.
And he needs about 5 hours reading time to pass the exam.
Yes.
But instead of doing that, he's watching movies for 4 hours and reading only 1 hour a day. So what do we think we can describe him as?
He's not focused.
So we can say he's distracted.
He's distracted.
You just said he's focused on watching movies. On something else.
Yes.
But you also just said he's distracted.
Yes.
So in the state of his distraction, he was still focused, but he was focused on the wrong thing.
Oh, okay.
So distraction by nature is a kind of focus.
Wow.
Just that when you are distracted, you are focused on the wrong thing.
The wrong thing. Wow.
And how do you define the wrong thing? The wrong thing is outside the scope of necessity. Once you are outside the scope of necessity, whatever you're doing tends to be wrong. Even if what you are doing seems to be good. It's not a crime to watch movies. There's a time to watch movies.
Yes.
There's a time that is suitable to watch movies for 10 hours a day. But in the season that the young man had the exam to write, we think that he's distracted by watching the movie. Because the movie doesn't form the context of what is necessary for that season. Every time you put your focus on something that is not necessary for the season, you are distracted. Even if that thing is a good thing.
Wow.
You see that now?
Yes.
So there are many times that the real temptation for decent people, because you and I can be categorized as decent people. There are those that their life by default is in distraction because they are doing all kinds of promiscuous things. We're not talking about those kind of people. We're talking about people that have decent lives, basic decent lives. For decent people, the real temptation of distraction is doing good things over right things.
Doing good things
over right things. So the good things could be sending money to the village all the time. It's a good thing. You know, your uncle calls you, you send them support. Your auntie calls you, you send them support. The fence falls down in mama's house, you send them money to build it. Meanwhile, you are owing landlord money in Makodi. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you borrowed money from your friend and you are 4 months behind schedule within the time you agreed to pay. But everybody at home are clapping for you because you are doing a good thing.
Good thing.
But the man that gave you money to start a business, you have not paid him yet. The rent for the shop, you have not paid yet. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
The next rent, there's no plan in view for the next rent for the business or for your house. There's no land in your name on earth at 40. No land. But you send 3 million home every year. You're a good person.
A good person.
But you are distracted. Because you can still build a portfolio that in 5 years' time will solve all your family problem.
Yes. So
Right now, the necessity might be to build a portfolio, an asset portfolio, a business portfolio, a cash portfolio that can sustain your parents and your siblings for the next 20 years. Or you use all the current money now and solve all their problems, and in 20 years, you are all broke. But in both cases, you are doing good things.
but one is right and the other one
Is distracted because it's wrong. You see what I'm saying now?
Yes.
So distraction for decent people is not something that is corrupted by bad behavior necessarily. Distraction for most decent people is a life that is derailed by good things over right things. And how do you define right things? Necessity. What is needed now? And you judge necessity by the impact it has on tomorrow, long term.
by the impact it has on tomorrow.
On tomorrow. So when you analyze the impact of what something has on, that's why you fast. When you take a fast, for example, you will be hungry today, but it has an impact for your future.
The future.
So you deprive yourself of a good food because you're trying to birth the right future. So there are many things that we do that are uncomfortable, but they are necessary.
Necessary.
Because when we analyze them, they are more future driven than present or past driven. Good things are usually past driven or present driven. Needs are future driven.
Future driven. Wow.
So there are many things that I would prefer to wear a boxer and singlet to this set, but it is not necessary.
It's not necessary.
It's not a crime. No policeman will come and arrest me, but it's not ideal for my future. It will give you a bad impression about me for tomorrow.
Yes.
So there's a way I will behave with you today because of tomorrow, not because of today. If it's for today, if this is the only day I will meet you, I will come in here with a singlet and a boxer. It doesn't matter because I will never see you again. I don't care. But if I'm future driven, then I will care about the impact of what my action today will do in 5 years to come. And most necessities are future driven. Many of us are present driven.
Yes. Very true.
And that's why we do good things over right things.
Over right things.
You always must analyze what is the impact of that action for the future. Is that impact that will tell you if it is a need or it's a want, if it's good or if it's right. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yes.
Okay.
It makes so much sense. This actually opened my eyes to a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'll try to not be selfish, but I'm being selfish right now.
Yeah.
Yes, it's wow, right things over good things. Because
Yes.
most time when we hear distraction, there's a structuring of our minds already. We know where to look. Okay, these are distractions are all bad
Distractions.
things.
Don't chase women.
Yes,
don't
yes,
smoke.
don't do
Don't
that.
do
Yes,
no.
yes,
There are
yes.
many good things that can form distractions.
Some distractions.
That's so the two things here is that good things
Wow.
can distract you.
Wow.
Number two is that distraction. In distraction, you are still focused. So you may be focused on a good thing, but you're on the wrong path.
Wow.
So distraction is a type of focus.
It's a type of focus. I hope you got that. I hope you got
Yeah.
that. Wow. Okay. Let's just go to the next question. Because
Sure.
I think there's a lot that can be said about this.
Understand.
Yeah. Let's just
Yeah.
go to the next question. And the next question is about purpose. Right?
Yeah.
Not just purpose per se, the purity of it. You know, we're always told, okay, you need to find the purpose why God called you. In fact, you were made. Your purpose was made before you were made. You know,
Yeah.
the Bible said that before you were formed, your mother's womb, I knew you, I called you. Yeah. So you were made. Why you were made was God made why he made you before he made you.
Yes.
Yes, so we keep hearing that and all. And there's something about trying to chase your call, get it, and know why you were on earth. Okay. And I think that a lot of youth, in quotes, from within my circle that I know, have come to that place of discovering their purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah. But one of the problem right now is the purity of it. In as much as you have found why God has called you, there's a purity of it, because it is the heart God looks, because you can be in your purpose and still be off of it when it comes to God. So over your journey, as you sojourn through life, your business and all of that, how were you able to keep the pureness of your heart? Because I think that is what is really important when it comes to God. When it comes to God working through man on earth, it's the pureness of it. Because I'm musically inclined. I'm an artist. I do music. Yeah, so I know a lot of musicians who are, in quotes, within the body of Christ, but their heart is not pure. In fact, there was a time I was there and God helped me. Yeah, I can be active where God wants me to be, but my heart is not there. So as you sojourn through life and all, how are you able to maintain the pureness of it? When your heart, how are you able to maintain you finding what God wants you to do, where God wants you to be, and how are you able to keep your heart in check to know that you have a right standing with God when it comes to where you want to be, and you have a right standing with God where your heart should be. So how were you able to?
Yeah, I mean, like they say the heart of the matter is the matter of the heart. I've heard that before. Fantastic quote. The heart of the matter is always the matter of the heart. So I'll say two things. Number one is that I think that the church and maybe a lot of motivational, speakers have mystified the concept of purpose. Purpose isn't such a big mystery, really. I mean, it's just basically, like you said, doing your why. Being your why. Basically, there's a why for why you're here, so just be your why. And the why for why you're here is what defines how you are, because how you are was designed to capture and to embrace and to execute why you are. So that's all purpose really is seeing how you are with why you are. Basically, put them together, that's really purpose. And there are many ways to figure out what your purpose is. You can do that by the things that your heart is passionate about. Your passion is an indicator of purpose. And then sometimes the problem you're wired to solve is an indication of purpose. So I'm just trying to say that as a background for those, when you say purpose, are wondering, what's he talking about purpose? Purpose is very simple. It's just why you were created. And I'm happy that you made a lot of reference to God. Because if we talk about purpose, there's somebody who is the one that prescribes the purpose.
Yes.
And usually, like everything else, the manufacturer of a thing usually determines the purpose of a thing. The one who made this bottle made the bottle with the purpose in mind, right? The one who made the phone with the purpose in mind. So usually the manufacturer is the one that determines the purpose. So if we are truly manufactured by someone, that person is God. That means God is the one that actually prescribes our purpose. Yeah. So you can't do purpose in the real sense of it outside God.
Outside of God, yeah.
Because it's Him that actually defines purpose. Yeah. Now, with the aspect of the purity of heart, when it comes to the execution of purpose, it's a very sound question. There's an interesting story of Abraham. And Abraham was given an instruction to kill Isaac. And he left his house. From scriptures, we didn't see any report of him telling his wife, because the matter was too heavy to say.
Yeah.
So he left the house with his son, his only son, to go and kill Isaac. That's the instruction. Take now your only son, the one whom you love, and sacrifice him to me on this particular mountain. Follow the sequence now. Yeah. So there are two things in that instruction. One is kill the boy. We agree on that?
Yes.
Number two is kill the boy in a particular place. Many of us don't wait to receive the second instruction because we are void of the purity of heart. We just hear kill the boy, we run. The man who say kill the boy, he has more to say, because there's a place that the boy must be killed if you want to please the sender. Okay, so you can be in the purpose, which is kill the boy, But there's a way that the boy has to be killed for you to please the one that gave the purpose.
Wow. Wow.
So many of us, we just hear kill the boy, we carry knife, carry firewood. We tie the boy from home because he's going to die anyways.
Yeah.
His impression doesn't matter because they said, kill the boy. And it took a while for Abraham to even give the boy the slightest hint, because at some point the boy asked, we have wood, we have knife, but there's no sheep.
There's no sheep.
He said, God will provide. You see my point? You see, but you and I, when God says, kill the boy, for example, start a ministry, if you are under a mentor or a spiritual father, you will leave him like a bad habit. Because God said.
Yes.
If God says, marry this girl, he didn't tell you when. He just said, this is your wife. That instruction could be for 3 years to come. But I'm just giving you a preview that this girl you met just now is your wife. The next 3 days, you are going to propose for what God intended to happen in the next 3 years.
3 years.
Because you didn't wait long enough to hear that, kill him on this mountain. There's a mountain to kill the boy. Because on that mountain, he left a sheep.
Wow.
So if you kill on any other mountain, the preceding instruction that came for the execution of that purpose will be missed. When Abraham got to that mountain and he took a knife to slaughter his son, then God said, don't touch the lad. I have trapped a sheep inside the bush for you. Many of us have missed out on our sheep because we killed Isaac on the wrong mountain.
The wrong mountain. Wow.
The instruction and the purpose and the will of God is the same. Bear in mind that even though Isaac did not die, Isaac was sacrificed.
Yes.
Isaac is a kind of sacrifice that the Bible spoke of in Romans 12 about a living sacrifice. Abraham had sacrificed Isaac. In his mind, Isaac was dead. So he didn't need to kill Isaac anymore. There is a way to execute the will. That's what I'm saying. Many of us, we have found the will, but we have lost out on the ways. There is the will of God. There are the ways of God. There is the purpose of God, and there's the alignment in the execution of the purpose of God. And that alignment never comes at once. It comes sequentially, and it takes a consistent, persistent work with the creator of the purpose to understand what are the preceding instructions for the expression of the purpose.
Wow.
And it requires a purity of heart. Many of us have killed Isaac 50 years ago. We heard God the first time, 50 years ago. From then till now, we have not heard God again. Everything we've done was outside the ways of God. And the ways of God are more important to God. I promise you, in my opinion, they are more important to God than the will of God. Because the ways of God became so important that Jesus became the way. He said, I'm the way. So ways are so important to him that God himself became the way.
The way.
So you can't say, I have just found the will of God. You must still be found in the ways of God. And that ways of God is very perpetual. In a legal term, it is perpetuity. There is no end in the application of the ways of God. It is consistent, it's proceeding, you can't just take one way and apply it to every will, because it is very sequential. One way leads to the next leads to the next, the next leads to the next. And it takes a purity of heart to follow God that slowly.
To follow God that slowly.
You see what I'm saying now?
Yeah.
We don't want that. We take the wheel and we run faster than the one that gave the wheel. And sometimes we don't even wait to capture the full essence of the wheel. Take your son, kill him for me on this mount. Then we take the son, we don't hear the mount, we just run to the field. Nearest field, we kill him and bring the head to the mother. That is God said that I should kill the boy. And we live in that corruption for all. You see, and in our minds, many of us think that we are in the purpose of God. We are. Maybe God wired you to sing. You are singing, but are you really in the way of God? Yes, God said marry that woman. Yes, you married her, but are you really in the way of God? God said, begin that business. You've begun the business. But in that business that you began based on God's will, are you following God's ways in executing the will of that business? So people miss out on the purity because they miss out on the ways of God.
The ways of God. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I may be wrong, but,
No, I don't think you're wrong.
Yeah.
So we need to be in the ways of God.
Yes.
For us to have
To execute the will of God.
execute the will of God.
If I say, make me jollof rice, you have established that I want to eat jollof rice. But did you ask me, how do you want? So if you travel abroad now, in most countries like the UK and the US, when you ask for an order in a restaurant, they'll tell you, do you have any allergy of anything? And they'll ask you, how do you react to pepper or to any spice? So if you even ask for steak, they'll tell you, do you want it medium? Do you want it, because even though you want steak, there are many ways that they can give you steak. It can be medium, it can be fully, so different ways of having the same thing. So I want jollof rice. You didn't ask me, do you want more pepper, medium pepper, high pepper? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you like oil or no oil, red oil or ground oil? There are many ways that you can make jollof rice. So even though you found God's will or God's purpose, the ways of giving it expression is very critical, maybe as critical as knowing the purpose itself.
So finding the ways of God helps you keep the purity of your heart.
Yes.
Yeah,
because you must be in alignment with God, and you need to receive consistent instruction, and it takes the purity of heart to hear God. And that means you put God before yourself. That's what happens.
Yes.
If you truly are committed to the ways of God, it means you are truly putting God above yourself.
Yes.
If you say, I want to go to Lagos to go and preach, God says don't go anywhere, you won't go.
Yeah.
2 years ago, God said be quiet, and for 2 years I was quiet. The team here, they tried to convince me to do an event or 2 events. I refused. I told them these are my years of quietness. I was very, very busy everywhere before that time. And then the year came and God said, this is a season of quietness. Stop talking. And I stopped talking for 2 years.
Wow.
I've had a business deal that I would have made millions. And God said, walk away. Why? He didn't tell me why. I walked away. Tens of millions. Just walked away. Years ago that it meant more to me than even now. He said, walk away. Till today, I don't know why. The guy I was doing the business with is a very good guy. The business was beautiful. He just said, walk away. I walked away. So it takes purity of heart
Yes. Yeah.
to the ways of God.
I feel like there's a lot to this. And maybe some other time we'll have to.
A part two.
We'll talk about just the purity of it, because I think a lot of people don't have it. A lot.
Yes.
I'm being very sincere.
Yeah.
So we'll just rush because of our time. Let's just run and hit it back to back. I want to read this one.
Okay, please.
Yeah, I want to read this one. Okay, so from my perspective, you have gained mastery in managing finances both through study and experience. Are there principles or structure you have discovered over years that can be applied universally? There are times that, you now say that my business is not yours, so you cannot apply the rules, the structure I have on your business and it will work and all. But I feel like there are some structures that can be applied universally, irrespective of tribe, gender, age, location. So do you have like step-by-step approach to financial wisdom that you can actually share with us?
Yeah, I mean, not within the time that we have, but I will just say a few things.
Yeah.
You use a very important word, the management.
Yeah.
So I think that, again, I mean, I don't understand all scriptural, spiritual, but maybe you led me on this. but I mean, it's who I am, so I can stay by that. When Adam was positioned in Eden, there were two assignments. One was quite easy. Or I've found, it wasn't easy, but let me just tell you two things. One is, whatever you name on all these animals will be their name.
Yes.
Just name them. Whatever you name it, it is. That's usually the job of a leader. You name things, you see things, you birth things. So Adam named all the animals. Imagine naming over 1,000 animals, and you didn't repeat one name twice. It takes a lot of acumen to do that. You didn't call goat lion or call lion goats. You named 1,000 animals, and you didn't name
whatever you called them.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
So if Adam had called a parrot chicken and called chicken, he would have had two kinds of chickens. But whatever he named them, they became.
Yes, so true.
So it takes a lot of leadership acumen to achieve that. And as a leader, you name things, you birth things. And Adam birthed Eve. So you birth things. As a leader, you birth things, you name things. But the second part of the assignment is till this place. Keep it. Many of us can't keep what we get. Leadership helps you to get it. Management helps you to keep it. And many of us would rather be leaders than be managers.
I think I should write this thing down. Well, okay, I'll go back to
watch the video on YouTube.
I'll watch it now because
yes,
we
want to get.
Yes,
we are a getting-driven generation, but nobody's teaching us how to keep. Have you seen that people are getting married younger and divorcing after 3 months, divorcing after 2 years? Our parents didn't know each other.
Yes, so true.
The grandfather say, "I like your daughter. I want my son to marry your daughter." In 3 months, they marry each other. And 50 years, they are together. We do 3 years courtship. And people are divorcing after 3 months and after 2 years. Because we are getting what we can't keep. We are birthing more leaders than we are birthing managers.
Wow.
Adam could birth Eve, could name 1,000 animals, but couldn't keep Eden. Couldn't keep it. That's his assignment.
Yes.
Just keep this place.
Yes.
Just this tree, don't eat of it. But keep it. Now, management is more obscure than leadership. And that's why we're more driven towards leadership. Because leadership is more visible.
Yeah, so true.
You see that now?
Yes.
You're the CEO, they see you. You are the husband, I'm the head, they see you. And they see you. But managers usually are not seen. And we think that leaders should employ managers. No, I think that leaders should become managers. Because the best way to manage a manager is to be a manager. So if you have managers and you cannot manage, you will have a problem still. A leader must have the quality of a manager, even if you have managers. The reason why the man is a poor husband is that he's a leader. And the wife is a manager. You see, that's what I say, wives are the keeper of homes.
Yes. Oh.
But if you have a keeper of home and no one to keep the keeper, there will be a problem. And to keep the keeper, you must be a manager of the manager. So the real deal is not how to get money. Getting money is not mystical. But the real issue is how to manage it. And in the management is where you find the keeping and the growing. Because God said, keep and till the garden. So I've given all of this to you, but it will require some maintenance work every now and then to keep it and to grow it. So in management, you find the keeping, you have the growing. Right here now, if I sell your shoe, sell your watch, sell your lovely shirt, I will raise capital for business. Sell your phone, I'm okay. You see that now? I've gotten. So if you're looking for capital now, just sell your shoe, sell your watch, sell your phone. You have raised capital. The real question is that this capital you have raised, can you keep it, and can you grow it? That's where the real financial problem lies. We are trying too hard to get money we can't keep.
Wow.
And in trying to get the money, we are looking for volume and not sustenance. So if I give 1 billion to a man who can keep 10,000, that 1 billion will eventually drop to 10,000 and below. If I give 10,000 to a man who is a manager, that 10,000 can grow to 1 billion. So everything rises or drops at the frequency of your ability to manage. And I can't teach you management now again because we have 7 minutes left. Is what I'm saying now. But the real goal of financial independence is more in managing than keeping. What you have is good. But how you keep what you have, how you grow what you have, is more important than getting what you have.
How you keep what you have is more important.
Keeping and growing it, that's management. Yeah.
Wow. There's a lot to take in. I have to go back to watch this video.
Yes.
I have one more question, but because of our time.
So let's take one more question.
Okay, let's have one more question.
Yes.
Okay. So when Battle has started, when it was launched, a pastor of mine was lodged here, so I think he's your friend.
Okay.
Yeah, you know him.
Okay.
And we're talking, and he made mention of the fact that they don't sell alcohol here. Yeah, so, and like I said, it was the first time I was like, no, I need to have a conversation with you. I need to know, because we're in a city where it looks like alcohol is a business.
It's a good mind.
It's a good mind. Now you can just sell alcohol and that's it. You can sponsor your children in any kind of school you want to. So, and I got thinking, and which brings me to consecration. Right, because I think, like they say, consecration is how is it said? It's not coming right now, but it will come. Yeah. And I really wanted to ask you, how do you manage faith, business, and consecration? Because I think that you saying you will not sell alcohol in your hotel in a city where alcohol is the major business. I really want to know, is it based on professionalism? Is it because of your faith? Is it an idea? Is it a business strategy? Or is it a consecration? When I say faith now, is it that God told you expressly not to? Because most time when it comes to business, when people see a place where they can make money, they jump in. And Christians most especially, are quick to separate business and faith. So you hear people, you go to their business places and they insult you, they tell you what they'll dupe you, all of that. But when it comes to God, they are all, lifting holy hands. And also, I want you to help us understand, is there a line in between business and your faith? And for you not selling alcohol here, I really want to know, so that, because hearing stuff like this, somebody can just go somewhere and start it and say, okay, which is a good thing, but yours will yield if it is strictly an instruction from God. So we want to know, is it based on your profession? Is it your faith? Is it consecration? And is it good to differentiate business and your faith?
So again, in one of the podcasts, I talked about the core of my life, and I said everything aligns with my core. I focus on the core, and then everything aligns with the core. I don't have business life. I don't have Christian life. I don't have spiritual life. I don't have financial life. I have one life. And every aspect of my life must align to my one life, which is the core of my life. And that core of my life, like I said in that podcast, is fabricated from the values that is birthed by my assignment. See?
Yeah.
So when you take that core, everything aligns with it. Now to your question, and I like you because you keep using the right words that makes my life easy. For example, you use the word consecration. You didn't say is selling alcohol is sin. And there are very two distinct lines between consecration and outright sin. The same way that there are lines between doing the wrong thing, doing the right thing, doing the good thing, like I said earlier. So you have good and right. You can say do the good thing. It's not sin, but it's not right.
Yes.
You see my point? So there are many things that we can do, that are not, it's not a sin, but it's not right. When the guy with the one talent did not invest it, he thought he was doing a good thing, but the master said you are doing a wicked thing. What he did was not bad. He meant good.
Yes.
He meant good.
Yes.
He didn't steal the money. He didn't eat the money. He said that my man is a shrewd man. I will just bury this money, let nothing touch it. And I will give it to him, bang, bang, they will give it to me. And he did so. But the Oga said, you are a wicked man, you are a lazy man. You see, he did a good thing, but not the right thing.
Not the right
see my point?
Yes, sir.
So the reason why we use alcohol in our hotel is not because God told me so. And it's not because, I'll say it's a bold statement. I pray I'm not misunderstood. It's not because it's a sin. If I did, I can give you scriptures to say that alcohol, there's no scripture that tells me that taking alcohol is a sin directly.
Yeah.
There are scriptures that warn against excess alcohol and people that shouldn't take alcohol,
Yes, sir.
who play certain roles in the church.
Yes.
Are you following me now?
Yes.
Yes, but again, there are aspects of one's life that must be governed by one's consecration. I'll give you a good example. Samson, God said, you will not cut his hair. As a Nazarene or as a Levite, there are certain things that Levites cannot do, not because it is a sin for you and I, but if you are a priest or a Levite, you can't do it. If you're a Nazarene,
Yeah.
you can't do certain things. I follow that now.
Yes, sir.
So, in the same way, consecration brings certain demands. Some of those demands sometimes can even be self-imposed.
Self-imposed.
You see, and say, I do not do this. Not because God said I should not, but it is to aid my consecration to my master. There's a thing that I do that makes me feel more devoted to the one that I serve. And that is the aspect of consecration that the Gen Z don't understand. That you do certain things not because God said so, but you want to give extra to God of yourself. You see that now?
Yes.
Yeah. So there are aspects of my consecration that may not align with you.
Very true.
One of them is that I cannot sell what I do not take. It's part of my consecration. If I don't take it, I will sell it. And because I don't take alcohol, and not taking alcohol is not because I thought it was a sin. It was I took alcohol as a teenager. I became born again at 16. I began taking alcohol before I became born again. At some point in my consecration, I was not shaking ladies. At some point, when I became born again,
Wow.
between 16 and maybe like 18, 19, I used to shake ladies. Say, hello, great, what happened? I say, how are you? How are you? Are you okay? Man is like this. I didn't hug ladies for several years.
Yes.
Yes. So, but that was then.
Yeah.
Now I do. Because my consecration now doesn't require it. At that time, I needed it. I needed something drastic to align me in my pursuit of God. So, different aspects of my life require different measures of consecration and different forms of consecration. When I told you I walked away from a deal, it was part of the consecration. The deal was not bad, but my consecration is that if God says I should do it, I will do it. If He says I should not do it, I will not do it. But for the alcohol in the hotel, it was just based on the fact that I don't sell what I don't take. So initially, I had planned to actually build a lounge, because normally in a hotel you have a smoking room, because we don't allow smoking in our rooms, and it's only fair to give a smoking room to your guest. So my plan was to have a smoking room where I was going to lease that room to somebody else to run the lounge.
Okay.
But the income will not come to me, which I may still do, because I don't want one revenue from the sales of alcohol. It's my decision. God didn't tell me to do it. It's part of my own consecration to God. I don't want one revenue from the sales of alcohol, because in my consecration, I don't take it. So I will not suggest to anybody else to take it. So I can't make revenue from what I don't want to promote. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
So, but I had the plan to actually do something like that, like a smoking where guests who can't smoke in the room can go and smoke there. Then I'll give it out to someone to rent, and they can sell alcohol if they want to sell, but the money doesn't come to me, it goes to them. Right? Wow. But in the long run, we didn't have the space for it. So we didn't even bother to put it at all. And even if we had done, I wouldn't have taken 1 naira from the alcohol sale, because I can't sell alcohol. And I'm saying that here publicly, I can never sell alcohol. Okay? If somebody wants to rent my space, it's not my business. Like somebody comes to rent the hotel room now, I don't know what they do inside the room. You know what I'm saying, right? Yeah. I cannot ask every guest, this person, is it your cousin? Is it your... it's not my business, right? But the same way, if I rent a space out, I can't determine what is done with the space. So, but other people want to sell alcohol, I won't stop them, right? I would prefer that every believer does the same thing. I would prefer that believers do not provoke a thing that, has too many gray areas. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Because Paul said, in closing, we're out of time. Yes. Paul said that I can eat meat sacrificed to idols. Nothing will happen. Go read your Bible. In Romans, I think Romans 4 or something. He said, I can eat meat that they give Babalawo, I will eat it. Nothing will happen. He said, but if my brother sees me eating it, there's nothing wrong. In fact, he said there's nothing wrong with what goes inside me in food consumption or drink consumption. It's what comes out of me that really matters. But he said, if my eating and drinking can cause my brother to stumble, I will rather not eat it. That's all I'm saying. Even if alcohol is not a sin, if my alcohol intake or my sense of alcohol can provoke a brother to stumble, I will not do it. And is it possible to do so? Yes, it is. So for that reason, I won't do it. Is that making sense to you?
Yes.
In that same premise of Paul saying, this thing is not wrong, it's not a sin. I can eat meat, even give it to idols. But if my brother sees me doing that, he may stumble. For his sake, I won't do it. You see that now? So that's part of my consecration. And God has honored that consecration because the hotel is doing so great by God's mercies. In fact, there are many people. Let me give you a story. Sorry, producer, sorry, but let me give you a story. So there's one of our guests who told our manager that he loves coming here because we don't sell alcohol. And this guest is a major club guy. He loves to go to the club, drink with his friends, have a good time. And he said that he loves our hotel because whenever he comes here, he spends less. That usually, when he sits in a hotel where they sell alcohol, and he goes to the club and they drink, his friends will still follow him to his room. Then he'll still go and buy plenty of alcohol for them to drink till 2 a.m. in the night. So if the room is, let's say, 40,000 naira or 50,000 naira per night, he will end up spending 200,000 that night, 150 on alcohol, only 50K for the room. But that when he comes here, he has peace of mind. He knows that, that when he pays for the room, that's all he's paying for. That his friends don't follow him here. So he has made it his plan that whenever he's in Makurdi, he must he's saving his money, that he must stay in Battle Resort, because in Battle Resort he does not spend extra money on alcohol. That he has peace of mind. And I've had many other politicians say the same thing, that they stay here only because we don't sell alcohol. Big men that probably are major shakos, that they prefer here because when they come here, there's peace of mind. You don't want to drink, that they know where to go to drink. But when they come here, they have peace of mind. So the consecration is paying so out of time.
All right. Yeah. This last thing you said about this last question, you said that you don't have different aspects of your life. You just have one life, and everything fits into it. And I think it's a take home for us. Okay, we don't need to have different. Some people will say, if no be God, if you see me here,
exactly.
Those things, they have different parts of life, and about the consecration part, the quote I wanted to give, I think I remember.
Okay.
Consecration is it the foundation of greatness, or something of greatness? Yeah. When you see great men, they have a routine. They have something
they pay a price.
Yeah, they pay a price for, and this has been an amazing.
It's been great to have you.
Yes, and I'm honored to be the host.
Thank you so much for being my host.
I hope to get to.
I think we should bring you back again, because I know we couldn't dig too much into this, but we'll be glad to have you back.
I'm really honored.
Thank you so much, Steve.
Thank you.
All right, guys, thank you, and see you on the next one. God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I'm sure it was a good time.
Yeah, it was.
Did you enjoy it?
Yes, I loved it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.